let me do it this way, right? Because what do
Mhm.
you guys see on my screen right now?
That the meeting is being recorded and then
Tap that got it. Just tap
Oh.
got it.
Oh, so that wasn't his screen. That was okay. The Prophet Stalker.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'll tell you what I do, Genesis, right? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me, right? And I have to do this disclaimer. And the reason why I said I wanted to record this is because I haven't taught young people in a very long time, but I wish I had known the stuff that I know now when I was your age, right? I had a good idea, but there are, we're all raised, right? We're all raised a certain way and this, that, and the other, and we got our way of doing things. Um, but a lot of people in the Black community don't know or don't have access to, or both, right? Don't know and don't have access to what I would call the ways to being able to create generational wealth. But let's talk about you specifically for a second. And let me just tell you, the futures disclaimer, I just have to show that. But let me get into who I am, right? And when I say who I am, I mean, so you will know who you're dealing with, because I didn't just start doing this yesterday, right? And I'm being very serious. I want you to see this. I've been doing this since 1995. I got a master's in finance and an MBA. I got a doctorate in international economics. I was a foreign exchange student. I lived overseas for 2 years. And I've been working as a professional trader for over 25 years. I'm a former commodity trading advisor, and I've taught hundreds of people how to trade and invest. But the more important thing to me is a lot of those people went on to become millionaire traders, millionaire investors. Okay. I don't know what your situation is, and that's what we're going to talk about next, right? What I want to do is get to know what your goals are, and you tell me about you and what you're trying to do. Tell me what you want to do.
So right now I am a college student. I go to Georgia Technical College. I'm in the dental hygiene program, and it's a 2-year program. So I got another year and a half left. And so
Okay.
while I'm getting this money once a month, I don't plan on spending a lot of it. It's a lot of money. Now, some of it I may use on books. I'm not gonna lie, it's not cheap. But I do want to put some of that money aside, so by the time where I come out of school, I start working, and you know how people say make money without leaving the house. You know how people would say that all the time. I want to get to that point. I have my main job, but I heard for people who do the investing or whatever, they'll make money just from being at home doing their investing or whatever. I don't really know the whole shebang behind it, but that sounds nice. But I also just want to just kind of build up money over the years, so as time goes on, I'll have more in the future than what I did in the past.
Okay, cool. So can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I hear you perfectly now. So check this out, right? This is what I want to show you. I want to show you what's possible, right? And I want to show you how it's possible, and I want to show you what kind of time frame we're talking about, and then I want to show you where everything kind of stands, because you're right about one thing, right? You want your money working for you, right? So let's just say, I don't know, and I told your dad I was going to ask you this, right? So let's say that you become tell me the specific title of what you're trying to do.
A dental hygienist.
Okay, so you're trying to become a dental hygienist. So this is my question I'm asking, right? If you were a dental hygienist and you didn't get paid for it, would you go to work every day?
If I did not get paid for it?
Did not.
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay, so that's why I'm asking that question to be funny, but I'm being very serious. So you wouldn't do it for free, is what I'm saying. Is what I'm asking you.
Not every day, no.
No,
Like
no.
I would like just in my heart, I would go to like volunteer kind of
Okay,
place for low income, but I wouldn't do that like an everyday thing.
I get you. Okay, so let me ask you something. Your dad tells me you like to crochet.
I
Okay.
do. I made this that I'm wearing right
That's
now.
pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool. So, what would you do every day if you didn't have to go to work?
Probably sit at home, watch TV, and crochet.
So you crochet. That's what you like to do
I've
is
been
crochet.
on break for school. That's literally all I've been doing. Like I've been
Okay.
sitting all day watching TV and crochet.
Okay. So crocheting is a passion of yours, then obviously, right?
Yes, it's a hobby. It's a
It's a
hobby.
hobby.
It's
Okay.
fine. Stress reliever. Mhm.
I get you. I get you. Okay. So watch this, right? I want to show you something. Can you see my screen? What do you see on my screen now?
Why are we here?
Okay. So we just kind of went over that, right? This is what I'm going to show you. If my Yeah, I'm sorry. So you see this right here? This is a picture, right? And
Yes,
it's a
I see.
picture. It got my degrees on the wall, all that kind of stuff. But you see that guy in the chair right there?
Yes.
There's a guy in the chair. His name is Malik. So he saw what I did and he was like, I want to do that for a living. Right. And I'm gonna show
Mhm.
you what happened. Right. And this is when he was about 17 years old. That picture is taken when he's about 17 years old. And he's 24 now. So it's about 7 years ago. Okay.
Mhm.
And 2 years ago, Malik took about $10,000, right?
Mhm.
And in 12 months, he was at about $1,145,200,
Wow.
right? Now, that's not everybody's situation. And I'm not telling you, hey, you need to go invest, be an investor, forget being, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, I can show you what your journey can look like. Because Malik, only thing he wanted to do was be a trader and an investor. Like the guy got up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning looking at charts and trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
So I'm going to show you what yours looks like, right? And I'm not talking about, um, I'm just talking about over time, right? Because this is in months, right? So you can see it. I'm just giving you an example. If you started an account, you could literally start making, you can see $2,500, $5,000, $7,000, and then what you do, they call moving that to scale. That's what we call that. We call when you go from 2,500 to 25,000, we call that scaling in my business. And the only thing that means is you allow yourself to make more and more money as you grow your account. Okay. The thing that most people do, especially in our community, is we put the money in the bank, we put it in a CD, we put it in some kind of savings account, something that's low bearing. The bank will pay you 1, 2, 3, 4% on the account, right? Or we put it in other stuff that may give you a little bit higher yield, but you have to leave it in there for a long time, right? That's what the typical run-of-the-mill investment looks like. And then somebody tell you, put your money in here and let it grow for over a 25-year, 30-year period of time. I'm not saying that's wrong because you can do it that way. I'm just saying, from what I've seen, you can put yourself in a situation where you work hard for 5 or 6 years, right? And then you retire and you do the thing that you want to do. If you want to volunteer because you're a dental hygienist and you want to do that, you can then do it because you want to. Then you spend the rest of the time crocheting and watching TV, right? And that, I'm not saying that that's what you're going to end up doing, but what I am telling you is, I'm gonna get here so you can see it. What I'm telling you is, over about a 5-year period of time, I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna say not conservative and not aggressive, you could end up with about the same amount Malik ended up with, right? Because you're not putting that money to work as hard as he did. I mean, he's working every day and that's all he did. But if you're passively doing it, you can get to about that amount. And even if you only got to a quarter of that amount, which is $350,000, right? Even if you only got to a quarter of that amount, you're going to be much further ahead than anybody your age. How old are you now? About 21, 22 years old?
22.
You're 22 years old.
Yes.
So I can assure you, if you're 27 years old and you have $400,000 in a bank somewhere or in an investment somewhere, they're not going to be many of your friends going to be able to say that. And the minute they find out about that you got that kind of money, they think they didn't want you to pay for everything. Let's go to dinner on Genesis. Genesis buying all the drinks. So I'm being funny, but I'm being serious, right? So you don't want to tell everybody. My point is, you don't want to tell everybody what you got going on. Okay. You kind of want to keep that to yourself. Now, let me show you how it works so you can see what I'm talking about. This is a trade that we not too long ago recently took, right? And this is just an example how we got into the trade, and we got in at these 3 points and we sold at this point up here, right? And that's about $4,900 in 30 minutes. So that's what's possible. I'm not saying it happens every time, but that's what's possible. And then this is another example of the next day. And I like to show the next day, same kind of situation, because it just kept moving up, right? We just kept buying, right? And then we ended up selling up here the next day in about 30 minutes. Now, what I'm telling you is that's not going to happen 100% of the time. But what will happen is if you can find a way to make $5 and lose $1, then your equity curve is going to go up, right? The amount of money you had here is going to start to excel, and then it's going to go up here. And that's what I know how to do. That's what I want to tell you, not from me doing it for you, but from me telling you, listen, save your money, save money up till you get an account, get you an account. I can show you how to set everything up. You can do it yourself. You can have somebody else do it for you. However you want to do it, I can show you. But you need to be putting some of that money to work, because this is what I'm going to tell you, young lady, in no uncertain terms. You know the conversation we're having today? When you're 27 years old, 5 years from now, you're either going to say, dang, I wish I had listened to that guy. Or you're going to say, well, I got a lot more money than I would have otherwise had, right? I'm not saying for you to do business with me. I'm just saying for you to get into a habit and a thought process in your head, right? That you think and you say to yourself, I am trying to compound my money, because I am going to talk to you, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to anyway. There are other classes of people that know this and do this on a regular basis. And your father has done a wonderful thing by putting you in a situation where he can give you or donate or gift to you that amount of money over a period of time. A lot of people aren't in that situation, but it depends on what you do with that money, because what you want to do is you want to be able to say, my dad gave me X and I turned it into X. I am a kind of a God-fearing man, right? So I believe in this. I'll use this talent thing, right? God gave each man the same amount of money. One man buried it, one man blew it, the other man invested. And he was only pleased with the man that invested it, right? Because you cannot just blow it, and you cannot just save it because it won't grow. You have to invest it. And what I'm telling you is, I'm not telling you to invest all the money your dad gives to you. I'm saying get to a point where you have I'm not saying $9,000, $10,000, but start investing before then. But get to a point where you are, saving and investing $500-$600 a month. You get up to $10,000, then you can start seeing your money exponentially grow without a huge risk. Because what you want to do is risk $1, make $5, right? So you can lose $1 3 times, make $5 one time, and you still make money. You get where I'm coming from? And if you do that repetitively and you do that over and over again, then what'll happen for you is you'll start to see your equity curve go this way, and your thought process is going to really change. So, you know, the crocheting supplies that you have to buy, I don't know how much they cost, I don't know what it is, but you're able to then go and buy the stuff that you want from the interest of your money. I was telling your dad this. You want to get to a situation where you're living off the interest of your money, not your money. Does that make sense? So if you had $350,000 and you found a way to get 20% off of that a year, you would then have $70,000 a year off to live off of. You get where I'm coming from? And if you got $1.4 million, trust me, your whole life is completely different, and you're living in a completely different stratosphere, and you probably don't have the same friends that you had before. And if you do, they're probably growing with you. And the ones who don't grow with you, you'll probably be like, yeah, man, I ain't fooling with you because you ain't, yeah, you know, you understand. People grow apart and they grow up or they grow down or whatever the case might be. So, I mean, that's really it. That's what I wanted to tell you. I want to kind of stretch your brain like that because I've done this, and I got my second guy that I'm working on right now. That's in my mentorship program. That he's trying to make $1 million in 12 months. So he's in the program right now trying to do the same thing. All I'm telling you is put yourself in a situation to make your money compound for you. Not all of it, right? I'm not telling you to invest all of your money and then you don't have money for books. What I'm telling you is to invest some of your money, enjoy some of your money, right? Enjoy some of it because your dad has worked hard, you've earned it by being a good student because he talks about how good of a student you are and talks how good of a daughter you are. So I get it, right? So those things that he's doing for you, if you make the money grow, trust me, forget you for a second. He gonna be over there grinning like a chess cat. You ain't got to tell him about your business because I promise you he'll come to frat me with his chest out. He might not say a word to nobody, but he'll look at me and probably grin and be like, so I mean, you know, but I'm telling you, it is no better feeling in the world than to know you have no worries in the world. I'm telling you that. And you're young now. You know, I don't know if you're talking about being married and having kids at a later time. Bro, Campbell, don't shoot me for that. I'm just saying, you know, getting married and having kids at a later time, but kids are expensive. Y'all expensive, I'm telling you. So that's all I got. So you tell me what questions you got for me. Uh-oh.
My main question is how to start. Like now that I have this money, it's in my savings account as of right now. Like when you say like invest like small money at a time, invest it where? Like where am I putting that money?
I mean, see, you are smart because some people be like, sign me up. I'll be like, sign you up where you going? I get it, 100%, right? So the first thing I would suggest is opening up you something like a TD Ameritrade account or Schwab account. I have an account at Schwab. Okay. So you open up an account like that, then start saving the money and growing the money through there so you can see it grow a little bit, right? And then once you get to a certain amount, then I'd move over into an area called the futures market. Now, that market there, you could double your money in a matter of months, right? But it's a very fast-paced market, and you need to have somebody that knows what they're doing to do something like that. But the first thing I would do if I were you is put your money in like a Schwab account, and then if your dad says, "Hey, Brother Jones, I need you to, tell me what to invest in," I'll tell him, hey, this stock right here might be able to boom, risk about $100, $200, and we'll see if we can make $1,000 off of it. We'll see if we can $500, $600 off of it. And I'll give you that advice if you so choose. I'm not charging you anything for it. I don't want anything for it. But if you open up the account at Schwab, I'll give you different options because what you want to do is do options. That way your risk is limited, right? So let's say you invest $200. The most you can lose is $200, right? But you have unlimited gain potential. So the most you can win is exponential, right? And you want to do that over and over again first, and to see that what I'm telling you is true. And then the second thing is to see your money grow, see your money start to do some growth. And then if you do that over time, trust me when I tell you, life changes, right? And that's really that's how it would start. That's how it would start. I would start it something like starting options. And options I can teach you about if that's what you want to do. I'll teach you everything you want to know if you so choose to go down this road. There's a time commitment on your part, but it's not a huge time commitment. But we'll meet like this, I don't know, once a month, twice a month. And if you have questions, you can give me a call or send me a text and I'll answer them for you. And then we'll see how it goes from there.
Hey, bro, Jones, what's your take on this? Like let's say for example that Genesis invests in, like, let's say $250 in a safe, no risk, but it's a low gain type thing. But then probably invest like another 500 into like what you was talking about, like one of those Schwab accounts. And then and can you also explain to her on that lowest level, like about compound, or do you think that compounding is?
Right. So
yes.
Explain compounding interest.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to do something, right? I'm going to go back here. Give me a second. I'm going to show it to you. Because it's easier to do it that way. One more. All right. Let's talk about compounding interest, right? This is exactly what compounding interest is. When you are able to go from 38,000 to 51,000 to 64,000 to 77,000 to 90, you see how it's more and more every month? Every month is more and more because he has more money to play with. And over here, you see where it says contracts? It's the same thing as shares. Like if you bought shares, like you can say the same thing, 15 shares of stock, 20 shares of stock, 25 shares of stock. So every time you see that you're winning, you add and add and add, and that's how you compound. You never. So here's a joke that I tell people, and it's real dry, boring, not even funny joke, but it's funny to me. So when you get a job and they tell you you make $70,000 a year or $50,000 a year, whatever it is that how much you make? You don't know the answer to that, do you?
No.
Okay, and this is why it's funny, right? Because I'll tell you, your dad can tell you. They tell him he make X, but when he get his check, his check doesn't say the same thing that he say he makes at all. So they'll tell you everything works in reverse for anybody living if you don't understand compounding interest. And let me explain to you what I mean. If they say you make, let's use a round number, $50,000 as a dental hygienist first year, and you get your check, I can assure you, you're only going to bring home about $36,000. Okay? Because you're going to have taxes to pay, right? You got taxes to pay, and then you got to have health insurance, and then you got to have a 401k, you got to have all this stuff that you got to have taken out your check. So by the time you get your check, let's say you're supposed to bring home $4,000, or you're supposed to bring home $5,000, you might not bring home but $4,000, right? That's typical with most people, right? Let me give you something that you can identify with. Whenever you go to the grocery store and you buy groceries or you buy anything, the tag says one thing, but they tell you something else when you actually have to pay, correct?
Correct.
So they might say the sweater, you might have crocheted that sweater and it might have cost you $20. I'm just using that for an example, right? Buying the material and all that kind of stuff. But unless you tax the person, then you losing money because you had your time involved and you had to go out and buy the materials right? There are a lot of things involved. So if you only charge $20, then you're losing money, right? So the grocery stores and everybody will tell you, hey, come in, these, your grocery bill is $20.13. But when tax is $25, I'm just using that as an example. There is nothing that goes in your favor except investing. Everything else you pay more money on. Like, you have a job, you're not going to make what they say you make. When you go pay for something, you're going to pay more because you got to pay taxes. When you work for something and you do something, there's time involved. There's equity involved as far as sweat equity you working. You have to learn as a young person the benefit of making the dollar turn to $2, making $2 turn to $4, $4 turn to $8, so on and so forth, right? So that you can grow your money on an exponential basis. And this is why you want to learn that as soon as you can. Because once you know that, no matter how bad things get, you can always get back to where you need to be. Does that make sense? Like if you know how to make money, if you know how to make money, then even if you don't have any money, once you get a little bit of money, you can make that money grow too. Does that make sense what I'm saying? That's where the power of compound interest comes in at. Because it's either working against you or it's working for you. Do you have money in the bank, right? You have money in the bank, correct?
Correct.
What bank you go to?
Delta Credit.
Delta?
Yeah.
They got nice buildings, don't they? Because I got an account over at Delta. They got nice buildings. They do, don't they? They paying for it some kind of way, but they ain't paying you that much, right? I mean, they're not paying you that much, but they get to use a certain amount of money. This is how this works. The banks get a loan from the federal government based on the total amount of deposits they have on hand. Just the way it works. So if they got X amount of dollars, they able to get loans and all this other kind of stuff and subsidies from the government so that they have more money. So they like for you to put your money in the bank, but they don't want to give you nothing for it. And that's just how it works, right? I wish it was something different, but I want you to get in your head. If you never ever talk to me again in life, get in your head this one statement. I will make my money work for me. I will make my money work for me. Because if you start getting that thought process, now you're not. So if you want, what kind of car you drive?
Hyundai Elantra.
Hyundai Elantra. Your mom and dad bought it for you, right?
Correct.
Correct, right? So the next car you get, if I were you, this is how I would look at this. My dad's giving me X amount. I'm gonna drive that dang on Hyundai Elantra until my money made me enough money I can buy my own car. If you have that as a goal, right, and you go to school and do what you need to do, then you're going to be forced to understand and make your money work for compounding. Because that's the only way that's going to happen. You can't buy, if you only save what your dad gives you, you might be able to buy another car, but once you buy that car, the money's gone. But if you find a way to make an extra $15,000, $20,000 off of your money, then hey, okay, cool, I can go buy me a new car because I got what my dad gave me, plus I got $15,000. And that would be really, really nice, right? Yeah. So cool. Did I answer the question in compounding to your satisfaction, Brother Campbell?
Yeah, you sure did. And then I was also going to ask you about, let's talk about the steps to actually develop this Schwab account first. So is this something that happens at all banks, all credit unions, or do we have to go to a particular one?
I'll send you a link. So what's going to need to happen is, because she doesn't have any investment experience, they're going to, and this is why I told you to do it this way too, right? Because she doesn't have any investment experience, she's going to need you and mom on the account with her, right? She can have her own account, but she needs somebody that has the experience because they're not going to let her open an account otherwise. Another way they keep us out of the situation. If you didn't catch that, I can't do it again. So, so what you need to do is y'all open up an account together, and then deposit whatever the money you want to deposit over there. Then what I'll do is I'm sharing my screen. So let me get out of this screen here. Hold on for me 1 second. I'm gonna get out of the screen here, and I'm going to show you something here in just in 1 second. Hold on. All right, so that's good. So that's that there. Let's get to the stock list. I'm trying to get to my stock list. Just give me 1 second. Do you see charts now? Like a bunch of charts?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get to the stock list. It might not let me in because it's not open. The stock market is not open until for another 30 minutes. Did you know that, Brother Campbell?
No, I mean I'm just learning this now too.
So the stock market opens at 6. I lied, an hour and a half. So it opens at 6 o'clock on Sunday and doesn't close till 4:30 on Friday. Everybody else thinks the market is open 9:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and that's not true. Neither here nor there. I was going to tell you, I'm trying to show you the stock list, but it won't let me open it up for whatever reason. And I'm trying to, and I think it's because it's closed, honestly. Because I never look at this beforehand. So okay, that's fine. We won't worry about it. But what I will tell you is you open up a Schwab account, I'll send you a list of stocks, right? That we're going to be either buying the stocks or you're going to be buying the options more likely than not. Because the options give you the right, but not the obligation to buy a stock at a certain price. And then if that price moves, you talk about exponential growth. You could literally risk $200, $500, and end up making like $2,000-$3,000. Doesn't happen often, but it happens probably once, twice a month. And then the other times you could probably be looking at making $200, $300, $400 on your money. Doesn't sound like a lot of money until you start adding it up.
Mm-hmm,
Right.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like a lot of money until you look at, I took 12 investments. I lost $200 4 times. So you lost $800. But I made, on my 8 winners, I made 200, 200, 400. I made 1,000 on that one. Oh, I hit the park or 2,000 on that one. Another one I made 150 on, another one I made, and that's how that looks, right? And I'm not saying it's going to be in that order. You're not going to necessarily lose 4 in a row and then make it 8 in a row. It's just it's going to be all in there off 12 investments in a 30-day period, and then that's how you want to make money. The only thing I'm here to do now is I'm here to help you get to where you're trying to go.
Okay.
Once you make some decisions, once you see how it works, then you will see, okay, well, I can make X amount of dollars. And then the curiosity is going to be in your own brain, right? Then it won't be me anymore, to be you, because you'll be like, shit, I got this much money in my account. That's good. That's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then your thought process will start to change by itself. I won't have to do anything at that point. You'll be calling me talking about some, hey, you need to give me another recommendation today.
I got you. And I got one more question, man, before we pop smoke. But let me ask you this. So you remember how you asked Genesis that question, like when she graduates, and then she'll be making $70,000. How much of that will she actually be able to see? And that made me to think about, when it comes to investing and even when it comes to trading and, when you're buying stocks and stuff like that. So my question is, like, if I got something and it says, like we were talking about the compound, okay, this is December 2023, and we put in $250, and then next thing you know, in January of 2024, we put in another $250, so that's a total of 500 that we put in, but it has already grown. Let's just say $75 or $150 or whatever. My question is, how much of that is actual money? If that's the question, you see what I'm saying?
I understand. In other words, how much tax you got to pay on that, right? That's what you're asking.
Yeah,
So this is how this works. We get into a whole other realm of things, but let's say it on the surface. You're going to have to pay anywhere from your regular income tax bracket up to 33% in taxes.
if
right?
you try to cash out.
If you try to cash out. Now, this is the thing. There are ways that you can circumvent that process legally then once you get to a certain point, Genesis, what you want to do is put everything that you have in a business name. I'll show you how to structure all that at a later date. So you put all of that in a business, so it's not in your name. So now you have a business, right? And there's a way you structure that just makes stuff easier for you. So, but to answer your question point blank, you want to pay anywhere from ordinary income tax 15% up to 33% in taxes on the capital gains, because it's called capital gains tax. So you will have to pay taxes on that money and they're going to tax people like myself and investors and traders much heavier than they do a regular person, because they know you can make money almost at will if you have that skill set.
Okay.
Did I answer your question, Bro Campbell?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, Genesis, what's your questions? Because you sit over there grinning and smiling. What you got?
You answered my only question, which is where to start.
So yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it said open up a Schwab.
Yeah.
SWAB. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'll shoot your dad a link, but yes, SCHWAB, Charles Schwab. Have you ever heard of Charles Schwab? No? Okay, yeah, we finna open up your eyes. Your eyes about to be, how they say, your eyes wide shut. Is that how they say it? Eyes wide shut? Yeah, you about to be experiencing some stuff in a very good way.
I don't know nothing about investing. I don't know nothing.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what a stock is. I don't know nothing. So my eyes got plenty of opening to me.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I'm here to help, right? And if you think of any questions, let me know. Brother Campbell, if you got any more questions, man, you know my number, just holler at me and I will definitely talk.
I appreciate this, man, because this is the first step. And I'm just glad that, that she was willing to go ahead and take it. And I think by, like what you were just saying, in order to start this Schwab account, they gonna say, okay, somebody else gonna have to be on it also, but it's almost like 2 or 3 blind people on the account. But this is going to make me get more involved or stay more in tune, or to try to learn and look at some more of your presentations and things like that. So now I just gotta stay connected to the vine to get more knowledgeable and get more experience in this, so that not only for me but for my children, so that she can start compounding her money now. And to me, the biggest thing is what I want for her, because I couldn't get it for myself. When my daughter lays down to go to sleep, these charts right here, that's her money that's working for her while she sleeps. And when she wakes up in the morning, so it's just like how when you say you got to get up to go do this dental hygiene work, you got to go work over there at this office for 8 hours. That's just like saying I've been asleep for 8 hours, and this is how much money I made while I was sleeping.
Yeah, that's the point I want to get to.
Yeah.
So
Make money.
if you learn the power of compounding, Genesis, at your age, I'm telling you now, when you're 30, 35 years old, you're going to have the friends that you have are going to grow with you, or you're going to have a whole new set of friends because your thought process is going to be very different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're 22 now, and I understand you just graduating school and you're in school to do other things, but your thought process changes when you see what the possibilities are. But when you know what the possibilities are, when you realize those possibilities, your life is completely different. See, it's one thing to say, okay, cool, that's good information. Ain't did nothing for me, right? You know, it's like, because that's not my situation right now. But when that does become your situation, your entire way of living is going to be different. How you eat is going to be different. How you shop is going to be different. The kind of people you hang around going to be different. The kind of house you're looking for going to be different. The kind of car you drive going to be different. Where you shop, it's going to be different. I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, once you get to the other side, you'll see what I'm talking about. And what the first step is, like you said, just opening up an account and playing with small money first, risking small money to try to potentially make a lot of money. That's what an options market is. And then as you grow in experience, then we transition you into other kinds of things. And then, like I said, I'm here to help you do it. And I got a whole team. It's not just me. I have an entire team. I just happen to lead the team right now. And I'm trying to lead the team no more. So I'm trying to allow them to be able to lead and do the things. But I'll be here with you every step of the way if you need me to be, to help you get where you're trying to go. All right.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. So, bro, Campbell, you got anything else for me?
No, sir. You've been on it.
All right, man. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday evening. I appreciate y'all sitting down talking to me. Genesis, do your thing, handle your business, and I'm proud of you too, young lady. So do y'all thing, man, and we'll talk at a later time, brother Campbell.
All right. Until the next meeting, bro.
All right, man. We'll talk then.
All right. Like. That lead.